isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome to the Collegiate iRacing League Formula College Championship. We are back for our third race of the regular season tonight, and the Indy cars are traveling north of the border up to Canada. We are racing at Montreal tonight for the Formula College Championship. We're going to give you some quick track facts about Montreal here. 4.36 miles in length, this racetrack, 14 turns to it as well. A lot of really tight corners, a lot of chicanes, and a lot of passing zones here as well. Always make for some good racing. It was first opened in 1978. The pit road speed limit tonight will be 45 miles an hour. And it was first run in CIL in 2023, which was Season 8. And we're in Quebec, so they speak French here. I am Sky Shrek. We'll get that fixed, but I am Sky Shrek, and joining me tonight is Edward Sanchez in the booth from Baruch College, and we are here to bring you the third round of the CIL Formula College Championship. Are you excited, Edward?
Sky, I am so excited to finally have you back in the booth, and I mean, unfortunately, we saw that Sky has been taken into the ninja back rooms.
I'm in the dungeon.
She's in the dungeon, so don't worry, folks. The broadcast is currently up and running, but Sky her beautiful face is gonna be on the stream soon. But yes, Sky, to answer your question, like 5 minutes ago, I am very excited. Today we are at the Canadian Grand Prix, and I mean, I can personally say running here last semester with the Cup cars is definitely it's a handful. But I know these are Indy cars. They drive better than Cup car, the average person would say watching this stream right now. So I got my popcorn right here, I got my Pepsi on the side, and I'm ready to watch this guy. I mean, who do we think is gonna take it away tonight? Because I heard a lot of strong contenders, and a lot of them were saying a Leaf is not gonna be one of them.
Yeah, this track was definitely something when we ran it in the Cup cars last semester. You may be looking to some of the guys who were good when we came here in Cup, guys like our Muhammad Alif, who is currently only about let's see here, 9th on the board in practice. The practice board's actually been shaken up. You got a lot of drivers you don't typically see in the first couple spots on this board. Up here at the top, we have Lucas Moody, who, correct me if I'm wrong, got suspended the last time we raced at Montreal. He is currently topping the practice charts. The rookie Brent Burton is in second. Cale Davidson, another Ball State car, in third, with Clint Halterman in fourth, and another rookie, Walker Green, currently fifth on the board. So some names we don't typically see up here at the front of the timesheet running the fastest laps in practice as we get ready for qualifying.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, yeah, the GOAT Alton Hong with a really great practice there. He was currently tracking up, I believe, and he was actually 26, but he was one person that I actually spoke with the other day, and I talked to him about this track and, you know, how it's gonna be for him, and he said that it's gonna be, a lot of it is gonna be the heavy braking zones into turn 1 down right before the start finish line. He says that a lot of the passes is gonna be in those zones, but of course he also mentioned tire strategy. He told me he didn't want to tell me what's gonna happen, but he did tell me that the tire strats are going to be something to watch out for tonight. And I know you mentioned Alif. He was not the fastest there in practice, but I will say that, you know, Just like Verstappen, you know, when he's like P8 and he complains about the car in practice, he comes out with the pole, right, in qualifying. So right now, Scott, we are seeing Jordan Johnson on board right there as he takes the carousel, or I should say the horseshoe, and heading over to the backstretch down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson on board here as he comes down this like really long kind of back straightaway here. You're going to head down through here. You are going to hit this chicane, and then it spits you right back out at the start-finish line.
And what's that wall right there? Is that the wall of champions, right?
That's the wall of champions right there.
Who do you think is going to hit it tonight? I mean, I hope not, but...
We're going to have somebody hit it tonight. I have a feeling we're going to have somebody hit it tonight.
Of course, and I do want to mention right there as we see the red tires for Jordan Johnson that he has on the options or the softs. So one thing to note, folks, about the tire availability tonight is that we're gonna have two different sets of tires. You have the prime and the options, the hards, the softs, the primary, and the secondary. Now, of course, they have to have a mandatory pit stop. So whatever tire that they start on, if it's a hard, they gotta move on to a soft sometime in the race.
Yeah, we're expecting a two-stop race here in this Formula C race. As we've seen in the first couple races, it's a bit of a new format this year. In previous years, we ran kind of 2 sprint races, so you never really had to make a green flag pit stop. That's different here this year. We're running one big 45-lap race, and it's going to take 2 stops from these drivers in order to get to the end of it here. Jordan Johnson, watching him again as he heads down this big straightaway here to set his first qualifying lap. He'll head down into the chicane. He'll head back out through the wall of champions onto the front stretch to complete his lap, and we'll see where he gets timed. A bit wide there. We'll see if it ends up dinging him for that or if he's going to be okay. And he did count his lap. 1:20.060. That is faster. That is half a second faster than anybody ran in practice.
Oh, and a Leaf with the P2, he just got a 1:21.72, which means he is off by a tenth, which means right now Jordan Johnson on the provisional pole with 7 minutes left, or I should say 6 minutes and a half. But a Leaf, I think he's also on another flying lap, and it looks like Jordan Johnson is pulled over. So, sorry, a Leaf on another out lap, I should say. So, I mean, what do you think, guy? Jordan Johnson finally up front, fighting it out, perhaps, with the Leaf and Moody. He's right there up there in the third spot for now.
Jordan Johnson's one of these drivers that really excels at the road courses, and this is going to play to his strengths. He's good at this track. We saw him really do well in the Sports Car Challenge last year, which was an all-road course schedule, and we kind of expect him to do pretty well here today. Muhammad Alif in second behind him is a threat pretty much no matter where we go, but especially at these road courses. He and his Ball State teammates kind of ran the gauntlet in FC last year, and his teammate is right behind him right now. That's Lucas Moody in third, who we're watching. The second Ball State car on the order is going to head down to try and get another lap. He is 0.6 off Jordan Johnson on his last time, but we'll see what he does here. Some of these drivers are running a bit of an interesting strategy. I don't believe Moody did it, but Muhammad Alif did, where they run one lap, stop, pull off, reset the car, and then run their second of 3 laps to try and get new tires to try and avoid running a qualifying lap on some more worn tires. Lucas Moody will not go faster than he did last time around.
I mean, yeah, just like you're saying with these, they pull over, they reset the car, then they go out. Something that, is very much in the sim world. But I think it's really about how long this racetrack is, right? We spoke about it. It is 2.71 miles, one of the longest tracks on our schedule. So, once you're a lap in, it's kind of like it's over. Like these tires, you've used up all of them, and the life in them, you sucked out the juices, and you may as well go in and get a refill.
Yeah, especially that alternate tire we've seen in the first couple road races of this season. That alternate tire really sheds fast. I mean, we were seeing cars in the Clash go about 10 laps at Laguna Seca, and that tire was already starting to go. So it's very much something you need to take care of, and that'll be the case again tonight at Montreal. That's why these drivers are resetting after one lap. It's because of how quickly that soft tire wears out and puts them in a dangerous position.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention how we mentioned that it's going to be a 2-stopper. And a little bit of my stat notes tonight, I'm a little bit more on the analysis kind of side. So it's going to be, looks like a 15 to 18 laps on fuel, depending on how much they can save, of course. But of course, that means definitely has to be a two-stopper. And we gotta note that it's the out lap and the in lap that's gonna matter the most. So here's some quick facts for y'all. So a normal lap time should be around a minute and 20, of course. And throughout the race, when you have less fuel load, the car goes faster. The lighter, the quicker. And with an in lap, usually of a minute and 30, with 10 seconds going into the pit lane, and the out lap, which is going to be around a minute and 40, which is 20 seconds off the average lap pace. So it's going to be that, which obviously everyone almost knows, but I'm going to say it's always going to be about that out lap, Sky. It's going to be how these drivers are going to be able to utilize, if they can, free air if they go in and give themselves space from the car in front so that they can, I should say, get a quick lap and hopefully undercut whoever they're trying to undercut.
Yeah, I want to circle back to that push to pass in a minute, but we've got some big changes on the quali leaderboard. Our Muhammad Alif has jumped up to pole with a 1:19.987 to take the pole time for right now, with Jordan Johnson still in second. Lucas Moody stays in third, but series director Ricky Paz jumps up to fourth. Clint Halterman behind him in fifth to round out our top five with about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying. Looking at that push to pass, that's 200 seconds. I believe this is the first road race where we've had that push to pass, because iRacing updated it from 10 uses to 200 seconds right before our season opener, but our season opener was at Laguna Seca, and the push to pass was glitched out specifically at Laguna Seca, so we did not get to use it. We will get to use it tonight, and these drivers, for the first time, we'll have 200 seconds of push to pass to try and make some moves on their competition.
Yeah, and it's really going to be interesting to see, like you said earlier, how we are seeing a lot of people in the top 10 that we don't really see often. And one thing to know is Ricky Paz, and another driver that I spoke to leading up to tonight's race, is that he said, Canada, it's mine. Canada is me and myself, and he has a pace to do it tonight. But of course, we'll have to see how he can go against us right now. Lucas Moody, Jordan Johnson, and Alif take up the top three.
Man, maybe if he wants Canada so bad, he ought to transfer up to St. Clair. I think they've got that place pretty much on lock with Hong and Tupakovic in the field tonight. I don't think East Carolina is anywhere close to Canada geographically. We're watching Nick Stockner go around here. He'll be completing his first lap down the straightaway of Nick Stockner, the alumni from Clemson University. We'll see where he lands on this lap. He will land 23rd. That'll put him right in between Aiken Lamar in 22nd and Nick Henley in 24th. So he'll have a lot of work to do in the race to try and make that ground up. Here's Ben Fiore. He's always kind of a threat in the road courses on Formula College. He had a really good run earlier in the season, came through for a podium a couple races ago, and he'll be looking to repeat that effort tonight for Marist College. He'll head down the longest straightaway on the racetrack, back down towards the Wall of Champions to complete his lap. He's currently scored 11th. This is his last chance to improve on that, and we'll see where he gets with 54 seconds left in qualifying. Ben Fiore is gonna stay 11th for now.
Yeah, and just outside of the points paying position, just a reminder, folks, top 10 will receive points. That is how the championship way goes.
No, did we? I think we changed that for this year, did we not? I want to say we changed that for this year. Yeah, we did change that for this year. Everybody gets points now. Top 10 for points was last season. We are on a new point system where it is points for everybody.
Well, that's great, because it just says me, like the audience, of course. Now we are more up to date with that, so very apologies to the folks. But yeah, everyone gets points now. But I did want to mention quickly, for Commerce University's student driver Jay Cummings, he was clocking in really fast in the practice. He was actually up there in the top 10. However, in his qualifying, seems like he ran a little bit too wide out of turn 4, I believe. And unfortunately, he's going to be starting back in 19th. And so it's going to be a long way for him to get back up there.
Hey, where did he start at Laguna Seca? I think he started back in 35th, ended that race in the top 10. Anything's possible for Jake Cummings at this point.
Yep.
Qualifying is over, so we're into a 5-minute warm-up, and while this warm-up goes on, we're going to work on getting you a grid for tonight's race so you can see where everyone qualified. But we can tell you it is our Muhammad Alif on pole from Ball State University, with Kent State's Jordan Johnson just barely missing out to his outside. Half a second behind them, we're going to have Lucas Moody, the second Ball State driver in the field, and Ricky Paz 4th place, he's the series director. He's from East Carolina University. New school, new role for him this year, and he's starting off pretty well in 4th. In 5th, it is going to be Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte, the alumni, while Cohen Evans of Purdue at Indianapolis will roll off in 6th in that number 17 machine. Number 7 will be Cale Davidson, the 3rd Ball State car in the field tonight in that 2 car. Walker Green, the rookie from Auburn, is going to roll off in 8th place tonight. And that pretty nice McLaren paint scheme he's got there. Ryan Whitlock, 9th for Alabama Huntsville, with Brent Burton, another rookie, outside of him in 10th for Indiana.
And to follow up there for the rest outside of top 10 is going to be Ben Fiore of Marist College in 11th place. Alongside with him, Andrew Burrell of Clemson University for P12. Next up is going to be Alexander Diamond from Drexel University in P13, the alumni driver looking to have a good race tonight, alongside with Charles Wembley of Guilford College on P14. Behind them is going to be Dylan Beatty from Ball State University, one of the rookies, starting at P15. He's going to want to see if he can have a good drive tonight, as well as his other rookie rival, Noah Masshart of University of Pittsburgh, starting P16. P17 is going to be Alex Fernetti of UNC Charlotte in the 3-2-1 car in 17th, and Nicholas Panella of Robert Morris University starting in P18. And to round about our top 20, unfortunately, Jake Cummings for Commerce University in P19. Side by with him is going to be Marlo Duncan of Milwaukee School of Engineering.
Yeah, and rounding outside of our top 20 now, Jason Wallet, the 2nd Drexel driver, will roll off 21st with Aiken Lamar of Howard Community College in 22nd. He's a driver that's going to want to be moving up through the field here. He's definitely going to be looking for a better day than 22nd by the time this is all said and done. I'm looking further back now into 23rd, we are going to have Nick Stockner of Clemson, the alumni driver there. To his outside will be Nick Henley, another car from Ball State University, looking to get up with his teammates. 25th tonight, we are going to have John LaFawn from the Penn College of Technology, and to his outside, a returning driver, Adrian Tubakovic of St. Clair College. That school's in Canada, so they're going to be looking to have a good run here in their home race. 27th, it's going to be Tyler Klingensmith of Robert Morris University, and he'll be starting right alongside his teammate, Jonathan Egge, also of Robert Morris University. And 29th tonight will be another St. Clair car, Alan Hong, and starting to his outside, last qualifier tonight will be Lee Kane of Southern Mississippi. And rounding out our field, I do not believe Thornton Thomas has connected to the session, and Drew Williams of Clemson did not qualify. He will roll off 32nd.
Well, Sky, it looks like we have almost less than 2 minutes to go before the grid. And, I mean, from looking at this top 10, we see, of course, it's Alif, Johnson, and Moody, and then Ricky Paz, Clint Halterman, Cohen Evans. I mean, this is a lineup of the ages because, for once, we see Jordan Johnson is going to be up here, just like what we saw at Laguna Seca, but will we see them clash heads into turn 1?
It's going to be interesting for sure. I mean, these guys ran half a second faster than any other car in qualifying. So, like we see in so many CIL road races, it's Alif and Johnson kind of as the class of the field. And we'll see if they're able to pull away tonight, or if Lucas Moody or Ricky Paz or someone like that can maybe bring the fight to them. Alif won our inaugural race here of this season at Laguna Seca after some chaos involving Jordan Johnson led to him spinning the tires and crashing off of pit road. So he's going to be looking for a repeat performance as we head to another road course race here, while Jordan Johnson will maybe be looking to make up for some lost time and get his first win of the season.
I mean, and time will only tell, because we definitely can see Johnson had a really good, I would say, a race pace, right? Well, we always see Alif, he's the quickest one out, but Jordan Johnson has a really good tire saving management. So we'll see how it goes, because we saw them kind of clash heads after the pits, or I should say during pit cycle. So we'll see how this one shapes up tonight, especially when Lucas Moody and Ricky Paz right behind them, looking and wanting their first win of the season. So I mean, it's gonna be all there. All stakes are high, and definitely one that you cannot miss. Because if you are tuning in right now, definitely hit that like button, because it's about to get really, really nice here.
Yeah, make sure to smash that like button, comment, and subscribe so you can let Muhammad Alif and Jordan Johnson know you are watching them try to run away from the field. They're starting a half a second in front of third place Lucas Moody. For reference, Lucas Moody back to Cale Davidson in 7th is only about 4/10 of a second. And then Walker Green in 8th back to Dylan Beatty in 15th is also about half a second. So the gap from 2nd to 3rd is the same as the gap from 8th to 15th. We've got a really tight field tonight, and it'll make for some really exciting racing.
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth, Sky, because that is just phenomenal by these two gentlemen. Of course, Ali breaking that sub 20, just barely, and Jordan Johnson right behind them. It's like you said, they're in a class of their own, and we'll see what's gonna happen. Because right now it looks like they have the alternates on, so it looks like the top 4 has the red tires, as I see on my binoculars from up here in the booth. I think the only person that have taken hard tires, I don't really see.
I believe Alex Diamond has.
Yeah, Alex
Diamond is going to start this race on the hards.
So you're saying all top 12, they're running on the softs, and the first one on the hards is going to be Alexander Diamond in 13th place.
I believe so. Diamond is on the hards.
Okay.
Looks like Wembley is on the hards. We're going to watch him come through here. Jake Cummings is on the hard tires as well, and then a couple cars further back, like Marlo Duncan, Aiken Lamar, a couple cars who aren't as concerned with trying to fly through the field here as well.
Yeah, so it looks like with those hards, they're obviously going to be trying to last a little bit longer, try to make it a longer stint, and hopefully try to undercut or overcut these guys. So, well, Sky, we're going to go green here and take us away.
Yeah, we're heading down the straightaway here. We're going to head to the chicane. It's always a fun restart here because the back half of the field is going to be restarting practically in a chicane with where the start-finish line is on this track. Pace car pulls off as we head down into the final corner. It's Muhammad Alif and Jordan Johnson around. They're going to grid out of that corner. We're going to pace down the front straightaway, and the lights will go. Muhammad Alif will drop the throttle. He'll try to get away, but Jordan Johnson gets a great launch. Alif pulls it up the inside. He runs Johnson through the grass. Nearly contact. Alif gets away in front. Ricky Paz completely blew the corner there. He'll get passed by Johnson and Alif. Johnson will hold the lead for now, and he'll take the lead down into 1, and we're wrecking behind him. Big accident.
Oh no, and that was a red and white car. I'm trying to see who that was. It looks like that was Lucas Moody. Lucas Moody spun around. Right now I'm looking at it. He only has a right front wing damage, but looks like he got on the pedal right there, and he's trying to get back to pit road quickly.
Yeah, a lot of our cars kind of started from about 3rd to 10th. They were getting caught up in that accident. It was kind of chaos there. Ricky Paz blows the corner. Someone else blows the corner. I think it's Brent Burton going way off the track right there. As we watch Cale Davidson ride in 6th. He's kind of halfway between these battles of Walker Green on Ricky Paz and Muhammad Alif on Jordan Johnson up there. Or my bad, Charles Wembley on Ben Fiore back there for 7th and 8th. We got another spinner at the back. We got a pretty decent couple cars going off back there. Walker Green in 5th for Auburn. He's chasing down Ricky Paz in 4th, who is chasing down Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte in 3rd, as our 2 leaders, Johnson and Alif, are already pulling away. We got some cars trying to go side by side to the chicane, but none of them are able to pull it off. Diamond will pull in, and huge contact. Adrian Tubakovic misses the corner, plows into the back of the car. He was right behind there. It is chaos.
He's gonna have
in
to
the
do
first
a stop.
lap of this race.
He's gonna have to do a stop and go right there, as you saw. So whenever you cut the course, you're gonna have to stop, give up the time, and go. So it looks like he does that and pulls away. Unfortunately enough, not making other contact. But Sky, we got our first victims of the night. Right now, I got you right here.
Yeah.
It is John LaFawn, Jason Wallet, Jake Cummings, Nicholas Panella, and Alex Fernetti are out of this race. They have pitted in, and it looks like they're out of the car, and they are okay from the AMR safety team. But of course, Alif, we're on board with him for Boston University, and it's his race to probably lose, because right now, Jordan Johnson, you saw that a heavy aggression from him in the first turn and overtook him, and now they are currently, I would say, almost 4 seconds in front of P3, so these two are out, and they're fighting it out.
Yeah, the battle. Ryan Whitlock's going to send it up the inside of Charles Wembley for 8th. He will get that spot. Ryan Whitlock, one of those drivers on the softer tires. Charles Wembley opting to start the race on the black primary tires. So Wimbley will be looking to run a little long here as Ricky Paz makes a move for third around Halterman, but he runs it wide. Halterman's able to cut back, and now it's Walker Green. We got a big wreck in the back, but it's Walker Green making the move for fourth on Ricky Paz. So he takes third momentarily. He'll drop back to fifth.
Watch for the switcheroo.
And now we've got Kill Davidson around the outside. Ricky Paz from third to sixth in 2 corners as the big one happened behind him.
And that was unfortunately not what Cale Davidson would have liked to have after all that, because it looks like Clint Halterman now it's still up into P3, but Walker Green not giving up, as right now the number 48 trying to get himself back up there and try to pass on Clint Halterman probably the next time around as we into the chicane at the backstretch.
All right, yeah, we're going around here. We've got I think some iRacing server issues affecting our ticker here, but we've watching a car go around. They're gonna head down into the chicane.
That is Clint Halterman.
Clint Halterman with that red alumni banner on that green UNC Charlotte machine.
I think he's gonna get a good run right there.
By
Walker
Auburn's
Green.
Walker Green in fourth. We'll see what he can do down the straightaway. Walker Green will draft behind him. They're both gonna go way offline. Green will pull to the outside. They're gonna be side by side. Back down into the chicane. It's Walker Green around the outside of Clint Halterman, and he'll take third. Big run up through the field for Walker Green in the early stages of this race. Halterman will stay in the draft down the straightaway. He's going to pull to the inside now into turn 1, and Clint Halterman can't quite get it back. He'll try around the outside, but he won't be able to do it, and Walker Green will hold on to third. I mentioned the passing zones on this racetrack, how many different spots there are to make an overtake, and you're seeing that here.
And one thing to note right there was Cale Davidson. He's currently just watching this, and he says, yes, yes, keep on fighting. Because we see how his rears are sliding for Clint, or I should say Clint Halterman's rears. He's currently just trying to get around the track as hard as he can, but looks like Walker Green with that overtake and Clint Halterman slowly but surely losing some pace. So Cale Davidson at Ball State might see this as an opportunity.
He's definitely going to be watching out the front of that mirror next time Clint Halterman tries to send on Walker Green. They're slower when they go side by side, so if he makes a big send on him, that would be a huge chance for Cale Davidson to gain some time, close that gap, and try to get back up to make a move happen here. As we're watching them continue to head down, we've got a couple more cars going a lap down here in the early going. Marlowe Duncan's one down. Noah Massert and Charles Wimbley also both a lap down already. And we are going to have a first penalty of the race. Alexander Diamond in the 049 car, currently running 10th, is going to get hit for an unsafe rejoin as Clint Halterman makes a move for third around Walker Green.
But Cale Davidson just hit the champion. The wall's a champion. It looked like Cale Davidson hit the rear, the right rear. It looked like he made a little tap into the Armco, and now he's sliding. Yes, he's currently a little bit damaged, and he's struggling. So right now, look out for Cale Davidson. Unfortunately, it looks like he's got a lot of damage right there. But yeah, as you saw, Clint Halterman overtaking, but not so fast because Walker Green's still on him, not letting him go.
Yeah, we're going to watch Ricky Paz go around here. He is in 6th place right now, and he's kind of staring ahead at this battle. He's on those red alternate tires, as many of the drivers in front of him are, so he'll be wanting to gain some time. But the issue with running these tires really early is that the cars in front of him are also on these tires, and it makes it a bit hard to get any passes made. I mean, Wimbley was on them, and he has gone a lap down in some kind of accident. And I believe most of the, maybe the entire top 10 is on those alternate tires. So these cars who started on that tire aren't really going to have any primary cars to pass. They're all kind of in one big train, all on those tires. And Ricky Paz is in 6th, dropping ground to Cale Davidson in front of him.
Yeah, and I was going to say the only person that are on the hards right now, the most closest. Oh, and we got to spin around the carousel, or I should say the horseshoe. It looks like Nick Stockner spun around, getting out of that corner.
And Walker Green's around too.
Walker Green is out. So right now we have a bunch of cars, and it's like I said from earlier, right? Who is saving those rears? Because those rears are just getting too hot, especially on a track like this with a lot of heavy braking zone and getting on the gas. So Nick Stockner, it looks like he got loose there, as well as we saw up front. But right now it looks like in P11. I can tell you right now, whoever's in P11 has those hards. That is, oh sorry, Brent Burton. And P10 right now, so he's in the top 10, and so he's right now with those hard tires. He could probably make something happen.
Yeah, we're having some ticker issues. Again, this race, iRacing really does not like the Formula College Series, but Brent Burton is running in 10th. He's got Drew Williams behind him for Clemson in 11th. Drew Williams, I believe, 2nd in our alumni race right now, behind Clint Halterman in 3rd. Brent Burton, a rookie to this series, first time in the series this year. He's the first car on hard tires, and he's trying to get away from a couple cars who are on those soft ones behind him. Drew Williams, Dylan Beatty, Nick Stockner, all on those slicker tires behind him. We'll be hoping to get the pass made before this first set of pit stops.
And one thing to note is those hard tires, and of course, it is definitely going to be interesting to see who is going to be the first one to pit, because we are currently almost halfway, I would say nearly halfway into the stint for these guys to get fuel, but it is very interesting to see that our first person with the hards up front in top 10, but in front of him, 8 seconds away, is Cohen Evans in P9. So right now, Brent Burton having to hold off those softs, but not for long, because we might see that those tires might come back to life with him.
Yeah, here's Drew Williams. He's got the slipstream going on Brent Burton, and he'll try to make the move. He's going to go to the outside on Brent Burton here instead of the inside. Big send into the corner. Can't get there. He'll get the inside for the next set of corners. He smashes into the side of him, and he'll get the spot for Brent Burton, albeit maybe by force there on the exit of 2.
I wouldn't be happy if I'm Brent Burton. Look at him. He's trying to stay on him, and he's definitely going to make another. Watch right here. He's going to probably send it on the inside. Oh, he's taking it wide. I called it. Look at him sending it on the inside. He's going to lock up a little bit, and they barely bang doors, but they don't, and they keep it going. But if I was Brent, I'd say relax, breathe. Those hard tires, you need to make them last. But once again, he's going to look on the outside. He's going to try and make something happen, but nothing comes out of it.
Yeah, and as this run fades, there's going to be a switchover point where those alternate tires just grind up too much. They become too hard to make lap time on, and those primaries eventually cycle back to being the preferred tire, as Nick Stockner is going to make a run on Aiken Lamar, and he's going to immediately spin it out. So Nick Stockner does not, in fact, make a run on Aiken Lamar. Aiken Lamar will stay in 13th for the time being.
But, I mean, at least he got on the car quickly, because he had it all together and unfortunately spun out, but he got it going quickly. And a leap up front, but you see that gap, 1.7. So Jordan Johnson looks like a better race pace right there. Definitely gapping a Leaf. So we'll see if a Leaf will have to try to underpit him to try to keep really get back on those lost times.
Yeah, we're going to stick on our Muhammad Alif here of Ball State University. First of a couple Ball State cars in the field. Our Muhammad Alif in 2nd, Cale Davidson in 4th. We got another one further back there. It's Dylan Beatty, I believe, in 12th. Let me just make sure.
E12, yes.
Stupid. There, no, yes, it is Dylan Beatty in 12th. And then Lucas Moody in 25th, currently 4 laps down, and I believe out of the session with a accident pretty much on lap 1. I'm not sure if we can get a replay of that, but we can certainly try. Ben Fiore will be looking around the outside of Ricky Paz. Can he get into the top 5? He cannot, and Ricky Paz will get the momentum for now. Fiore is going to kind of stay in the slipstream, but look behind him because Ryan Whitlock is on that push to pass, trying to get himself up into the fight. Then Fiore will jump to the inside on Ricky Paz. He'll send it down into this corner. Fiore will get the spot for now, and now Ricky Paz is going to be under threat from Ryan Whitlock right behind him.
I like that move by Ricky. You saw him kind of like just let him go. He was going to try and turn in side by side, but he realized this is not going to be worth it. It's only lap 8, so he let him by. But unfortunately, it looks like he got in the way of Ryan Whitlock. Whitlock having to lock up a little bit in those tires, and heard over the driver radio that he apologized there right after. But one thing to note, folks, is the battle for 9th, because, of course, it is definitely a really interesting fight here, that it's especially that I was going to say, really, Drew Williams and Brent Burton, currently P10, P11, trying to catch up to these folks. So the more that they battle here, the better for them to try to catch up.
Yeah, we've got a lot of incidents kind of all throughout the field. You've got Ricky Paz under pursuit from Ryan Whitlock, which we're watching right now. You've got Cohen Evans trying to chase down Walker Green. I believe that is the lap car of Jason Wallet further back in that pack. Or Wallet or Diamond, I believe it might actually be Diamond. One of the Drexel cars. Diamond had that penalty earlier in the race, had to make a drive-through pit stop. As Ricky Paz goes wide through the hairpin, and Ryan Whitlock will steal 6th away. Ricky Paz going backwards, was up to 3rd at one point, and has dropped back to 7th over the ensuing 5 or 6 laps.
Yeah, and if I was Ricky's crew chief, I'd be telling him right now, put your head down and run those laps because it's not over yet because we have pit stops coming up soon and it could be a make or break for all these drivers. But you mentioned earlier, push to pass. Talk to me. Tell us, what is that about?
Yeah, you hit the button in the car, it gives you some extra horsepower. Kind of functioning a bit like a DRS in F1. You know, a little differently, you get 200 seconds to use. Brent Burton misses the corner there. Gonna get some kind of rejoin penalty. He'll likely have to slow it up to get himself back under the iRacing time penalty, and he will drop to 13th in the time being. As I was saying, push to pass is where you essentially push a button in your car. You get 200 seconds of race, and it gives you a little bit of extra horsepower, which can help you maybe complete a move on someone that you've been stuck behind for a little and get some extra spots if you're able to use it properly. Watching Cohen Evans of Purdue at Indianapolis in P9 there. Kind of the last car in this train of cars that's stretching from Clint Halterman in 3rd all the way back. And then it's a 12-second gap behind him to Andrew Williams in 10th. Walker Green is on the push to pass right now. He's going to look on Ricky Paz. He'll try to steal 7th away. He's around the outside. He can't quite get there. Look at the difference in the brake rotors on those cars. Ricky Paz, if you saw him there when they were going around that corner, his brakes are red hot. He is working those things. The way he has that brake bias set, those things are basically on fire coming down into the corner. And contrast that with Walker Green, who's going to try and send him on the outside. He won't get there. His brakes are a lot cooler, and it's leading to him being a little bit better under braking, and you're seeing that as he tries to make the move on Ricky Paz. He'll jump back to the inside, and he still can't get anything, and Ricky Paz will hold the spot for now.
Oh, and a little bit almost checkup for Cohen Evans right behind him, P9. So the battle for P7, it is really on. And like you said, Ricky's his brake is a little bit too high, and I tell him to try to coast it a little bit better into the corners because he's definitely trying to overcompensate Walker Green having to run on the inside or the outside and tried to lay. Oh, and they almost made contact. Walker Green sends it on the inside, but Ricky Paz, he got hit by Cohen Evans on his nose, and it looks like it's gonna be Ryan Whitlock in P6. Walker Green right behind him, but unfortunately, it's gonna be Ricky Paz probably trying to not really happy there, and he's gonna have to come up through the field. But Cohen Evans with that damage on his nose.
Yeah, that is a big accident there. Cohen Evans probably took some kind of nose damage there. iRacing's a bit inconsistent when it comes to showing that, but I have to imagine after slamming into Ricky Paz like that, he definitely took some amount of damage, and Ricky likely took the same. Things going bad to worse to Ricky Paz. We saw him on the podium for a brief moment earlier, and he slid all the way back to 7th. Contact with Cohen Evans sends him back to 9th, and now he is going to have a lot of work to do to move back up through the field in this race. We'll see if he can get there, but for now, he is kind of stuck back at 9th.
And we're gonna see a replay here of the incidents. It looks like Walker Green sliding in on the, that is, yeah, trying to get in on the inside last minute because it looks like Ricky Paz, he kind of braked a little bit sooner into the corner, which caused Walker Green to kind of move to the left and try to avoid hitting him. But unfortunately,
all right, we've got a development here. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, go ahead.
An incident on lap 2 involving Cohen Evans has just resulted in him receiving a drive-through penalty and strike 1. Now, 2 strikes in one of these races means you are disqualified. And if it gets reviewed, I believe that is pretty likely to be Cohen Evans' second strike right there. So he might be in trouble if that incident with Ricky Paz goes up to the stewards, because he is going to have to take a drive-through this lap, and he's already setting on 1 penalty. And as I say that message over the steward system, incident on lap 11 involving Cohen Evans is being investigated.
Oh, I mean, that is a tough break for Purdue University Annapolis. Cohen Evans having a strong race here. He was having pace, but unfortunately, that whole fiasco up front with Walker Green and Ricky Paz made him kind of on the victim side, I should say, not really expecting all that much, and unfortunately, having made contact. So as you said, the stewards are investigating the involvement between Cohen Evans and Ricky Paz, and I mean, it's not looking bright here. Like you said, Cohen Evans already having a strike, and the second one will be done. We'll make his day done.
Yeah, we've got a car in the pits for service. Ryan Whitlock coming in. He was running in P6. This is going to be a regularly scheduled pit stop, I believe. He'll likely be coming down, change tires, put some gas in the car, and then shooting right back out. But he is the first car on pit road. And as we watch Cohen Evans serve his drive-thru, we're going to give you a bit of a recap of some of the other victims in this race. We've had a lot of accidents. We don't have enough space here to cover them all. And we're going to kind of go through this list here. Alex Finnerty, Lee Kane, Alex Diamond, and Nick Henley, all 1 lap down. Adrian Tubakovic and John LaFon are 3 laps down. Marlo Duncan is 5 laps down. Lucas Moody, Charles Wembley, Noah Massert, Nicholas Patinella, Jake Cummings, and Jason Wallet all out of the race. And the incident on lap 11 involving Cohen Evans and Ricky Paz is being chalked up to net code. No further action will be taken.
I was about to ask you, Sky, do you want to give the good news for Purdue University? Because their driver is still in it to try to maybe have a good result there. So good for him. It looks like it was a net code, so nothing having to, exasperate his terrible night. But one thing to note, Ryan Whitlock, he pitted in. He's on those hard tires now. He pitted as P6. He just now overtook, it looks like, Dylan Beatty for P11. So right now, Ryan Whitlock, one of the first ones to get on pit road, seems like he is one of the first ones on these hards trying to make up ground and maybe potentially trying to undercut the top 5.
Yeah, and I think Walker Green has also just come down now. So the pit cycle has begun. Walker Green is down. Williams is down. And you're going to see some of these cars who started the race on the alternate tires come down and switch off to those more reliable over time, white-walled hard tires to try and make some speed in this run. They're pulling a bit of an undercut here. We'll see how that works as Walker Green shoots off pit road right next to Andrew Burrell. They're going to be side by side down into here. And I believe it is going to be Andrew Burrell holding the spot for the time being, but I have to imagine Walker Green is going to be trying to get around him pretty quickly there. We got another message from the stewards. Incident on lap 12 involving Alex Diamond is being investigated. If found guilty, this would be Alexander Diamond's 2nd strike of the race. So another driver kind of on an incident watch there.
Yeah, and I mean, it is an incident left and right. But one thing to really note is that the top 7 we have our first one into the pits potentially, but right now it's the top 5 that's still out with those red tires that have to pit in. And I know Cohen.
In the pits.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jordan Johnson and Alif are in the pits. The leaders have finally went in. Let's see who's gonna come out first. But it looks like Jordan Johnson. Jordan Johnson not into the pits. Yeah, he's still out with those fresh tires. With those red tires, did he?
I think the iRacing ticker might be lying to us again.
Yes, it is a lie.
This sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna
it likes to
mention.
pretend certain cars don't exist.
I was gonna say the top 5 cars are still out with those reds. So I could confirm with you right there. It is going to be Jordan Johnson, Alif, Halterman, Davidson, and Ben Fiore. Those top 5 have to pit soon enough. Right, we are reaching their fuel limit. It is lap 15 going to lap 16. So I think the leaders, Jordan Johnson deciding to stay out once again. So I mean, he's out in the front in the clean air. So you think maybe that's why he's probably staying out even further, trying to take advantage of that, Sky?
Imagine, yeah. Yeah, I have to imagine that's why he's staying out. Clint Halterman behind him has also stayed out. Not bad, Clint Halterman.
Halterman just came in.
As I say that, so Halterman's gonna pull off. Cale Davison will stay out, Ben Fiore will stay out, and next car to make the decision will be Ricky Paz. See what he's doing? He's kind of swerving to the inside of the track, which makes me think he might be staying out. Ricky Paz will come into the pits.
Yeah,
so
and
that's another car in the pits. That's 2 of our top 6 in there.
Yep.
Update on that Alex Diamond incident that has been investigated. Car 14, Lee Kane, will be given a drive-through and a strike 1 penalty for crashing into Alexander Diamond.
An unfortunate victim to the steward's room after the race, and Clint Halterman just serviced his car. He's coming out, and it looks like Alexander Diamond almost made contact with him outside of the pits. So, oh my God, it's mayhem everywhere with the lap traffic and the waves. But yeah, so Clint Halterman, he is out front, still in he's in P5, which goes to show how much the top 5 pulled away from the field, that even going into the pits, they were able to still be up front. But just to note that the leaders, it was 18 seconds ahead of Clint Halterman when he went into the pits. So I don't know if Clint can try to, probably close that gap by underpitting, but still the leaders out front.
Jordan Johnson's pulled out about a 5-second gap over R. Muhammad Alif. Both cars stayed out again that lap. Cale Davidson is the next car. He's 23 seconds back. And Cale Davidson will come into the pits to put new tires on it. Right behind him, Ben Fiore will follow him in. So that's the cars who are currently scored in 3rd and 4th coming down pit road. Well, the top two, Jordan Johnson and Muhammad Alif, continue to stay out on the racetrack.
Now you're wondering, why are they trying to stay out as much as possible? Because here's my thought process. If Jordan Johnson comes in and get those tires and tries to make it last to the end, the only way that can happen is through a caution or a pace car. So it's definitely something interesting to see if that's what Johnson and Alif's mentality in here is, try to maximize their gas all the way to the end. But one can only tell what's going to happen is right now, Jordan Johnson on the backstretch, will he go into the pits this time around?
Yeah, we'll see. He's going to have to make the decision for sure on this lap. We'll try to see where he's going to come down. Jordan Johnson.
He stays out again.
Muhammad Alif stays out again. So
what is going on?
Is still Cale Davidson, who's on those newer tires, 33.5 seconds back of his teammates. And also, I just want to make a quick steward's note here. Cale Davidson has pit, and he's put on another set of red tires. So some strategy being played here. Cale Davidson's taking another set of reds, which means he's going to have to take the black or the white off-wall tires, or the primary tires, on this next stop. Ben Fiore in 4th has taken the primaries. Clint Halterman in 5th has taken the primaries. Cohen Evans in 6th, I believe, has not pit yet. Ryan Whitlock in 7th, also on the primaries. So Cale Davidson kind of in a strategy of his own here, where he's the only car in this lead group to come down the pit road and take another set of those those faster but lesser lasting tires.
And I was gonna mention that right now he is currently around 44 seconds behind Alif, which would be 48 seconds behind Jordan Johnson. So it's interesting to see. Maybe he's hoping that, you know, he's gonna try and last these reds, but try to make up time and only have to pit in. And oh, it looks like Jordan Johnson, our race leader, is into the pits. But is Alif is also going to the pits. So right now the top two are in the pit lane. We'll see what the crews are going to be able to pull off here.
Yeah, they'll retain their lead because Canada's pit road is a bit shorter in terms of time than almost any other pit road we go to. We're going to be watching to see what tires they put on this car, because that's going to be the big question. Do they do what Cale Davidson did and come out on another set of alternates to run the hards for the last stint, or do they put on another set of hards? Jordan Johnson is going to the hard tires. He will come out of the pits there, and Muhammad Alif will do the same. So Jordan Johnson and Muhammad Alif both putting on those white-walled primary tires, and now the only car in this front pack on the hards, or on the alternates, is Cale Davidson in 4th.
Oh, but just an unfortunate right there for Alif. Looks like he was almost half a second longer in the pits. So right there, I was looking at it, and it looked like Jordan Johnson was just that quicker getting to the box and getting out. But one thing to note is Alex Fernetti in front of Alif. So right there, Alif has some lap traffic between him and Jordan Johnson. So Jordan Johnson now 6 seconds ahead. So he's definitely being, he got lucky right there. Jordan Johnson has some free air, but Alif behind lap traffic is not going to help him out.
Yeah, Jordan Johnson's definitely going to make use of that clean air. He doesn't have a lap car pretty far up the road. He is entering the hairpin right now. Jonathan Eggy is about a couple seconds out of the hairpin. That's the next lap car up the road for him. Meanwhile, Muhammad Alif is pretty much right on the back of Alex Finnerty, so that's the next lap car for him. We're watching a battle for 4th right now. Cale Davidson has used those alternate tires to catch back up to Clint Halterman, and he's going to be looking to put a move down here, not into the hairpin, but into a corner sometime soon. They're going to have lap traffic play into this battle as well, because that's the lap car of Marlo Duncan in the 84. He's going to have to pull off to let them by, which is great for Halterman, but maybe not so great for Davidson, who was hoping that Duncan could maybe slump up a little bit down the straightaway.
Yeah, if I was Cale, I'd be saying, no, hold him up, be in front. But, of course, the drivers gotta respect that blue flag and gotta let them by for Halterman. And still in front, and he looks like he's weaving to the inside, trying to break off that towing towards Cale Davidson, but Davidson having none of it, trying to stick to him to the end, but nothing comes out into turn 1. So, looks like Halterman is going to survive for a few more turns.
Yeah, Cale Davidson stays in 4th for the time being, continuing that hunt. It's a bit of a gap behind him to Ben Fiore, who's quietly had another really good run up to 5th, but he'll have Ryan Whitlock kind of banging on his door back there in 6th. I mean, looking back from Cale Davidson, I think the next car on the soft tires is Brent Burton. running in 8th, or I guess running in 11th. Sorry, the ticker hasn't quite updated. Brent Burton's a little further back than that. It is still Brent Burton. He's just in 11th. Aiken Lamar is also in 12th, and Tyler Klingensmith is in 13th. And those are the next 3 cars after Cale Davidson on those red tires. So he's kind of in a class of his own here on strategy, and we'll see if he can get around Clint Halterman and put those tires to good use down this straightaway.
Yeah, and definitely something to note here is the pace. Sorry, the pace that the top 2 has, and right now Clint Halterman trying to get back there. And one thing to know before the pit I should say green flag pit stops, Clint Halterman was actually around 25 seconds behind Alif. And right now, he's only 18 seconds, so he's kind of been crawling back towards Alif and kind of carving out his time.
Yeah, Cale Davidson going into here, still trying to get something going. He looked a little close there and maybe had to back it off a little bit to avoid running into the back of Clint Halterman, and that'll set him half a second back. But again, he's on those fresher tires. The question becomes now, is he using up those tires trying to make this move? Is he going to burn those tires up trying to get past Clint Halterman? Because if he does, it's going to leave him in a really bad situation for the rest of his stint, and it might allow Ben Fiore on those more moderately paced, I guess you could say, white tires trying to catch up to him.
And to answer your question, oh yes, he is. He is using them up. You saw him go through the grass, trying to maximize as much as he can on the on his exits of his corners. So it's definitely one to watch. And right now, watching is Ryan Whitlock, and he's trying to get at Ben Fiore's. Almost less than half a second is a distance. So right now we're gonna head into the horseshoe here. So we'll see if Ryan Whitlock is gonna have an answer for him before the wall of the champions.
Yeah, Whitlock all over the bumper. This is both cars on the primary, so he doesn't have any sort of tire advantage. We'll see if he's willing to use the push to pass here. He is not, so he's mostly just going to be using slipstream to try and pull up to the bumper of Ben Fiore. But he won't be able to do it here. He'll hope to have a good run down through the wall of champions. Maybe get a look into turn 1, but a great run out of the corner for Fiore will dash Whitlock's hopes of trying to get that spot for the time being. Walker Green's a little behind them, 7 seconds back, and that's a really big gap after that to Drew Williams, about 18 seconds back in 8th.
And while that's happening, Jordan Johnson having some issues of his own. Lap traffic. He had enough of a trouble trying to get past Tyler Klingensmith. And right now, he is almost a second behind Dylan Beatty, trying to get around him too. So as we see him trying to get that nice toe from him as they get into the F1 DRS zone right there before they head into the last corners of this lap. Right now, 22 out of 45, so we are almost halfway into this race. And as a little update, why don't we go through the top 10 and see how we're doing?
Yeah, let's take a quick run through the top 10. You've got Jordan Johnson in front by 7 seconds. He's side by side with a lap car of Dylan Beatty, putting him 1 lap down. And he is having a great race out here. He's got a big lead, and he's just going to be looking to hold it pretty much for the next 22 laps of this race. He's got 1 more pit stop, but after that, he should be golden. There are 2 lap cars in between him and R. Muhammad Alif, who's running back there in second, 7.6 seconds back. He was looking to try and move up through the field. Back there, we've got a battle going on for third. It's Clint Halterman, it's Cale Davidson. They are still at it, and even though Davidson is on those softer tires, he has not been able to find a way around as of yet in that Ball State machine. Looking back from them, it's another battle. It's Ryan Whitlock and Ben Fiore going at it for this 5th position. Ryan Whitlock has taken over that 5th spot right now, so it's Ben Fiore dropping back to 6th, and he will try to get around there. Walker Green running 7th. Drew Williams, P8. Ricky Haas, the series director, trying to have a recovery there in 9th, and Cohen Evans at 10th. We'll get a replay of this pass for Ryan Whitlock. He's going to head behind him. This is going to be down into the hairpin. Sends it up the inside. And Ben Fiore runs a little wide out of that corner, and it's going to let Whitlock get the spot for P5.
And that was a textbook move right there for Ryan Whitlock, but Ben Fiore, we saw him run a little bit wide there, and of course, probably trying to get onto the gas soon enough to try to maybe get the next move on him in the next corner, but it was not enough, as once again, down into the hairpin, Ben Fiore trying to stay up there with those hard tires, but it looks like a little bit lap traffic right there, but they get around it with no problem, but Ryan Whitlock up there in P5.
Yeah, that is Marlo Duncan slow on the straightaway. He let about, I gotta say, 5 or 6 cars through there. So you gotta wonder if that's maybe an issue for him or if he's just trying to be really nice to those leaders. I'm not entirely sure. Ricky Paz is under threat from Cohen Evans, who has recovered from his earlier drive-through penalty to stay in 10th. And he is going to be under threat, not just from Cohen Evans, but from car behind him. That is John LaFon of the Penn College Technology, although he is 3 laps down at the time. And he's going to take out Cohen Evans!
No! And John LaFon, unfortunately, a lap car in P20, he takes out Cohen Evans. And I was just about to mention that this is a DRS train. They're all head to tail, and they're just that close. And Cohen Evans looks like he was not able to get on the brakes quick enough, and unfortunately ruins Cohen Evans' days. So, what a tough break for Cohen Evans. But of course, you saw the controversy he had tonight. As we're gonna see if we can get a replay right there. And oh man, I mean, Sky, what would you do in that situation if you're Cohen Evans?
I would probably say some words over the radio that would get me muted in a cup race chat.
But I meant really, if you saw that in your mirror, I mean, like, what can you do right there? It's a hard lick onto his rears.
I would go, if that was in my mirror and I was racing with the car that happened to, I would say, damn, that's rough, and I'd keep going. If you're Ricky Paz, you can't worry about that. You're trying to get Drew Williams up there for 8th. You've got better things to worry about than someone getting killed behind you.
I was about to say, the battle for 8th still going on, so it looks like Drew Williams still being hunted down by Ricky, and Brent Byrne in the number 10 car trying to stay up there, but he's only a second behind, so he won't do much. But Ben Fiore on the attack on Ryan Whitlock, so Ben Fiore not giving up on those hards. We thought he was fading a little bit, but those tires seems to come back to life for him.
Yeah, they have. Speaking of tires not coming back to life, Cale Davidson still in 4th. He's actually losing time to Clint Halterman despite being on those softer alternate tires, which is something that I'm sure he's not going to want to happen, because as this run goes on, those tires are just going to fade more and more, and it's going to make it much harder for that task to happen. Report from the stewards here, perhaps unsurprisingly, John LaFon has been given a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, and it's a lap 23 collision with the 17 car, so John LaFon, unfortunately, gonna have to get handed with that penalty and head to the storage room after the race. But one thing to note, Ryan, it looks like Claire Halteman pulling away with those hards, and Cale Davidson, you mentioned this earlier, Sky. And Cale Davidson runs a little bit wide, gonna have to use the exit chute right there, and luckily does not hit the inside wall. He will get it because he was flying through that section on the off-road. But I want to mention how you said earlier, right? Those soft tires being in the back of Clinton Halteman in that dirty air, it's gonna eat up those tires, and it did, because Cale is just struggling with those tires.
Yeah. And I just want to point out, we are down to 11 cars on the lead lap here. As this race progresses, we're 26 laps in, we've got 19 to go, we have 11 cars on the lead lap. I'll run you through them real quick. Jordan Johnson, R. Muhammad Alif, Clint Halterman, Cale Davidson, Ryan Whitlock, Ben Fiore, Walker Green, Drew Williams, Ricky Paz, Brent Burton, and Aiken Lamar are your cars on the lead lap. So if you're a fan of one of those drivers, they are still very much in it.
Yeah, and it's one thing to note here is Jordan Johnson, now 11.4 seconds. I mean, I'm sorry, Sky, but I was really hoping that they would, be a little bit more fighting, I would say. But, I mean, Johnson just putting on a clinic and putting the lead up front.
Yeah, he has just kind of pulled it away. He's got an 11-second gap over R. Muhammad Alif, and there's some lap cars in between them, too. Well, not anymore. There was the lap car of Andrew Burrell, but R. Muhammad Alif just made a big move on him into turn 2 to get that car by. So there's no lap cars in between. Next lap car up the road from Jordan Johnson's Alex Diamond, but even he's about 8 seconds further up. So Jordan Johnson's got clean air, and he's just going to be able to pull away. The best battle on track, we've got a couple of them. There's kind of a three-way battle back here for 5th between Whitlock, Fiore, and Green, and then 20 seconds back of that, there's another three-way battle for 8th. That is between Drew Williams, Ricky Paz, and Brent Burton. So 2 pretty good battles right now, involving more than half of our cars on the lead lap.
And I know one battle that is non-existent, and that's Alif and Johnson. And it's like you said, I mean, there's no lap cars between the top 2, so we can definitely see this next couple of laps. We can definitely see who has a really great pace now that a Leaf is out in clean air. But once again, it looks like it is going to be an interesting pit stop cycle up soon enough, because right now with 20 laps to go, I should say now 19 laps to go, as the leader now takes the 28th lap.
I'm sorry, look at this push to pass up here. Jordan Johnson has not used any push to pass at all the entire race.
Yeah.
He has used none, and he is 12 seconds. Ignore what the ticker says, because the ticker's glitching out on us. Jordan Johnson is 12 seconds ahead of Muhammad Alif, and he has not used any of his push to pass.
You're joking, Scott.
None.
Really?
Alif has used over half of it. Jordan Johnson has not used any.
Oh my god. I mean, Sky, you remember last semester that Alif usually has like at least 180 seconds on like the last 5 laps. We only have at least 17 laps to go, and you're saying you already used oh my god. What a clinic Jordan Johnson is doing just to have no use for the push to pass.
Yeah, you see some of the drivers. Some of the drivers who have been using it more are the drivers who have been in these battles all race. Walker Green has made good use of it. Ryan Whitlock's also been heavy on the button.
Jordan Johnson with the fast
Brent
lap.
Burton's actually moved it up to 8th. He's passed both Drew Williams and Ricky Paz, so he's gotten 2 spots there. Brent Burton moving up as Jordan Johnson has just run the fastest lap of the race.
Kent State University, man, you have to sign up this man and give him a whole scholarship, because look at that fastest lap without even having to use any extra horsepower and using all of it. But I've actually been watching him for like the last 2.5 laps, and I can tell you right now, that man, he is riding on rails. I don't really see him slip up as much. He never slides the rears. He is literally Max Verstappen 2023 season form.
Yeah, I'm sure the producer is having a great time just laughing at my face as I look at Jordan Johnson, 0 push to pass used. Jordan Johnson, fastest lap of the race with a 12-second lead over his closest competition. That is domination, the likes of which we do not usually see in the CIL, and it is happening tonight from Jordan Johnson.
Yeah, and it's gonna be... Well, I like how we're praising Jordan, and Jordan... I hope you don't get CIL commentary, Chris, because that is going to be really awful if that happens. But it looks like he's proving us wrong there, and he's still up front, leading healthy.
Hey, it would not be the first, second, or third time I've said Jordan Johnson is running a really good race just for him to immediately go off track.
And as we see right there, the battle for for P5. So you see Walker Green is behind them all, behind Ben Fiore, behind Ryan Whitlock. So we got a little DRS train going along for the battle for 5th place. So, I mean, I'm trying to look at everywhere else on the track, Sky. I mean, I don't really see any competition.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of the closest battles. Also behind them, Brent Burton is actually going to pull out a bit of a gap to Drew Williams and Ricky Paz. Notably in that battle, Brent Burton is on the alternate tires. Behind Davidson, he's the 2nd car on those alternates, is Brent Burton in 8th. And he's just passed Drew Williams and Ricky Paz to move himself up there.
Walker Green's in the pits. Walker
Green is going to make this the first car to make his 2nd pit stop of the race, and we're going to find out. Does he put on another set of hards, or does he switch to the alternates to end this? Alternates can be a mixed bag. We saw them fail pretty badly for Cale Davidson on that run, but they've worked out really well for Brent Burton. So it's going to be really in the air which he chooses. We're going to watch this pit stop on our end. We're going to see what he puts on that car.
He's gonna go with the hards.
The Auburn University car is out with another set of the hard primary tires on that car. He will come out in 10th, right behind Ricky Paz.
And unfortunately, I was gonna say crucially, he needed clean air for these outlap. And look at that, right in front of him is Brent Burton, Drew Williams, and Ricky Paz. He's now going behind this 2nd DRS train, the battle for 7th. So unfortunately, Walker Green was not able to pit in time, because I was trying to see where he was going to come out, and he was a second slower than I anticipated, which means he fell back, and now he's going to have to fight all these cars up ahead.
The coffin, folks. Discord's mic mute button does not work. We're watching Ricky Paz here in 9th. He's chasing down Andrew Williams in 8th. Both of these cars are going to have to pit eventually. So is Brent Burton in 7th. Brent Burton, I assume, is going to maybe come down a little earlier because he is on those hard or soft tires, as Cale Davidson and Ryan Whitlock have both come into the pits back here, along with... No, Ben Fiore has stayed out. So it's Cale Davidson and it's Ryan Whitlock into the pit lane. And we're going to see Cale Davidson, we know, has to go with the hards. He does not have a choice in that matter. We will see what Ryan Whitlock does. I have to imagine... No, he's going to put on the soft. So Ryan Whitlock is going to switch from the hard tires back to the alternate, the softer tire, to end this race and see if he can go out there. He'll see if he can go out there and make some passes and get some good speed on those softer tires.
And once again, unfortunately for Ryan Whitlock, he's going to be behind Walker Green, behind those DRS train, but crucially, look who's behind Ryan Whitlock. Jordan Johnson, 3 seconds away and catching. So we can only, right now, only 10 laps on the lead lap. So we'll see if Jordan Johnson gets close enough to Ryan Whitlock, or Ryan Whitlock, he's going to put some life in those tires and try to catch up. But I'm saying right now, Sky, Drew Williams, Ricky Paz, and Walker Green, and Ryan Whitlock, those 4 have pace, but what's that going to mean for Jordan Johnson? Is he going to be held up here?
Yeah, I'd say Walker Green is maybe in the worst position he could want to be in right now, because he's made that pit stop, right? And he's come out. But the issue with Walker Green is he has come out, and he has come out right behind a just hornet's nest of cars back here. So he's gotten around Ricky Paz, but then you look in front of him, and he's got Drew Williams, he's got a lap car and Tyler Klingensmith, he's got Brent Burton, and he's got Jonathan Egge. So a lot of cars who have not pit, and now he's going to have to try and negotiate his way around a whole kind of gaggle of cars here while on fresher tires, and it will be helped by Egge and Williams coming into the pit lane.
Yeah, and Drew Williams, crucially, going on the driver radio saying he is pitting this time. And we saw a little bit of contact up front as they all got under the brakes. So luckily, Drew Williams giving Walker Green the attention of him going to the pits to, fortunately enough, not cause any incidents.
Yeah, Walker Green will move up to 7th after that. He's got Ricky Paz on his tail, but that is not a serious threat, as Ricky Paz has not hit yet. Walker Green has. He's put another set of the hard tires on there. Ryan Whitlock back in 9th. Had a bad pit stop. He did not have a good pit stop at all. He dropped off a lot of time. In fact, he's come out 18 seconds behind Cale Davidson. So he's going to have a lot of work to do on those softer tires to try and regain the ground he lost with a terrible pit stop there.
And it looks like Drew Williams, he's trying to get around Jonathan Egge. He gets around there. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be Whitlock battling it out, trying to fight his way up and get past Walker Green, as they are currently now set, or they're set for the end of the race.
It's going to be a really interesting battle as they come down to the end of this race here. Ben Fiore has not yet hit either. So it's Ben Fiore in 4th. He's actually going to be Whitlock's main competition. I apologize there. He'll be in 4th. When he pits, he's going to be coming out near Whitlock, and that's going to be the competition to end this race. Johnson has not pitted, he just stayed out. Muhammad Alif is going to come to pit road here, and he will also stay out. Clint Halterman is staying out. Ben Fiore is staying out. Cale Davidson in 5th is our first car to take new tires. Brent Burton behind him in 6th, and Walker Green in 7th. Also on those new tires. Whitlock in 9th has not pit, while Whitlock in 9th has pit, while Ricky Paz in 8th has not.
Yeah, so right now it looks like Clint Halterman finally getting to the pits. So the top 3 right now for the podium, contending for the podium. We'll see what tires he's going to put on right here. As I'm getting a word, perhaps he's going to be taking those soft tires, as right now it's only nearly 11 laps left in the race.
Yeah. He's kind of pulled this overcut here, so we'll see how this works out. I have to imagine with that overcut, he'll want to put on the tires that get him more pace, and he will Clint Halterman onto the hards. And we'll see where he shakes out in relation, or Halterman on the softs, we'll see how he shakes out in relation to Clint Halterman, who is on the hards. This is going to be close on the pit exit, but Halterman is going to get about 4 seconds out in front there. And not only is he going to get a couple seconds out in front, he's going to have the lap car of Alan Hong in between them. It's going to serve as a bit of a blockade for Cale Davidson to have to get around here.
That was a risky move by the crew chief of Clay Halterman because they knew that Alan Hong was going to be an interesting variable there. And luckily enough, that pit crew of Clay Halterman for UNC Charlotte was able to get him on the track in front of Alan Hong, not having to be held up there out of turn 3. So luckily enough for him, it's all clear road up ahead for 13 seconds.
Ricky Paz is coming to the pits to put on the softs, and Muhammad Alif has also come down pit road here just recently. We will see what tire he puts on the car for this final run. Cars who have stayed out so far, it's Jordan Johnson, it's Ben Fiore. Neither of whom have pit. Alif is in the pits right now. He's going to put another set of soft tires on the car for this final 10 laps. And you have to imagine, with only 10 laps left, it's going to be Jordan Johnson and Ben Fiore likely to do the same thing, I would imagine. There's not a lot of laps left, and there's a lot of incentive to take the tire that's going to last you a little longer.
Oh no! Ricky Paz, he hit the wall. He's currently, it looks like, I don't know if it's iRacing, but yeah, no, he is. His front has broken. He's hit the Onco barrier. He's out of this race. Your FC director, who had a really strong position starting in P3, he is now out of this race.
Yeah, bad to worse to out for Ricky Paz. Not the day he wants at all. Jordan Johnson will stay out one more lap. He is still on the racetrack at the time being. And I believe Ben Fiore has also stayed out. But Jordan Johnson is getting really close to his bumper right there.
Yeah, and
Ben Fiore has pit. I take it back. Ben Fiore has pit. He is on new tires, and he is coming out about 3 seconds ahead of Ryan Whitlock, as Walker Green will make a move up the inside of him on those slower, hard tires. Ben Fiore still in pursuit. He's going to stay on the bumper of Walker Green as we head down towards the hairpin, drafting all over the back of him. But he can't get it for now. Green will stay ahead through the chicane, and now down into the hairpin. It's going to be Ben Fiore to the outside of Walker Green. Can he get the move to stick around the outside of the hairpin? He cannot yet.
Side by side.
They're going to come out side by side.
Oh,
and Ben Fiore will do it out of the corner, and he'll finally get around Walker Green.
Hold on, I don't think it's over, as Ben Fiore is still trying to fight back, and he does. It looks like he's gonna try and make a move on the inside, and he does. Oh my God, Walker Green with the amazing pass. He's gonna move back up into P4. P5. And Jordan Johnson down in the pits, and Sky, new nickname for Walker Green, Kevin Magnuson. The man, the myth, the legend. He
has said this race, and I love it. He's one of the more exciting drivers to watch so far here for sure. I'm going to imagine, as they're in the pits, Jordan Johnson is going to put on a set of hard tires, but we've got another battle still going back here between Green and Fiore. Fiore was kind of swerving all around there trying to get a lane, but he can't get there. He'll look to the outside into the chicane, does not have enough. He will not get there. And heading back down, it's still Ben Fiore on his tail. Jordan Johnson has come out on the soft tires as expected. So this is now the main battle we're watching. It's Walker Green on Ben Fiore. Fiore is on those softer tires, so you think he would have the advantage. But Walker Green has done a really good job to hold him up and to stop him from getting the spot. He'll look to the outside in the hairpin. Oh! Still can't get there, and Walker Green will hold the spot for now.
Just to confirm, Sky, Walker is on fresh. He has his fresh tires on, right? He has pitted early.
Yes, he is on fresh tires.
Okay, so they're good to the end. And one thing to know, I mean, Walker Green with the exceptional defense of the year, because it looks like Ben Fiore taking a look on the inside. He does not. He's gonna go to the left, and he's not gonna be able to make another move. I mean, this is our Kevin Magnuson of this series. Am I wrong, Sky, to say that?
He's gonna look. Ben Fiore is gonna look back at the inside of Walker Green. Can he finally get the move done here? Not yet.
Oh my God!
Green will circle back to the inside.
What
he
a
is
drive!
Still holding him off.
Jesus,
Walker Green is not only on the harder tires, but he pit about 3 laps earlier. So he's on both harder tires and older tires, and he has been making Ben Fiore use up that advantage to try to get around him, and it just hasn't worked so far. And with about 8 laps to go in this race, Walker Green has put it on a hell of a show here, keeping Ben Fiore behind him.
I mean,
look at this again to the outside. It's Ben Fiore. For about the 6th time, he's going to get side by side with him, but will he actually be able to make the move stick? No, it is still Walker Green, and this battle is letting Ryan Whitlock join the shot in 7th.
I mean, Walker Green, our Seattle FC rookie right now. I'm gonna put him as rookie of the season because the amount of defense, and look at that. He just parks his car right in front of him. Definitely got off the gas there to try to catch him off guard. But once again, Ben Fiore trying to get that toe in on the straight. He's gonna try and get closer, but he's not. And Walker Green, what a drive, an exceptional drive. And I mean, I don't know how these two haven't collided.
Yeah, they are. Look at the push to pass, though. Walker Green has no push to pass.
He's
so
using
he
all
is
up.
out. He's got no extra horsepower, and he's going to blow the corner entirely. So Walker Green is going to miss the corner. He's going to get a time penalty from iRacing. I'd imagine it's going to make him let Ben Fiore by, and it will. So Ben Fiore will finally get the spot. And now Green's attention might be more back towards Ryan Whitlock, who is on what he has left of that push to pass. He'll send it up the inside.
Oh.
Contact with Walker Green. He gets the spot. Walker Green maybe a little damaged there, but Ryan Whitlock will take fifth for now.
I think iRacing is lying to you and gaslighting you again, Sky, because it looks like he's fine. Walker Green still has his front wing, but I mean, what a drive! He did use up all his push to pass, and unfortunately now he is out of it. He is withdraw everything from the bank, so it looks like he's gonna have to settle in P7 unless those two folks up front, Ryan Whitlock and Ben Fiore, if the Reds run out, since I would say Ben Fiore's tires must be shot at this point because he's been pushing it and gassing it up, trying to get past Walker Green, the big defense he put on. But I did want to mention to this folks earlier, Ricky Paz, we saw him get out and unfortunately wreck himself out. It looks like out of the pits, those softs was a little bit too cold, and when he crossed that the pit lane exit, he unfortunately got into the grass and hit the outside wall. So that is how Ricky's day ended on lap 34.
Yeah, and I think you made a great point. I think this end state's gonna kind of be advantageous to Ryan Whitlock, because Ben Fiore just blew up his tires trying to get around Walker Green, and Ryan Whitlock didn't. So even though he's got a little less push to pass, his tires are maybe a little older, he's probably in a bit of a better position right now when it comes to having not used up his tires trying to make an overtake.
Yeah, and just like I foresee, like, look, right now I'm looking at the sector times, and it looks like Ben Fiore, he is down by 2/10 in the middle sectors. So it looks like Ryan Whitlock, with not having to fight off Walker Green for nearly 2 laps and just giving it all, it looks like Ben Fiore is going to be under the attack for the top 5 position.
Yeah, and I mean, we only really have 7 cars on the lead lap at this point. It's Jordan Johnson, it's Muhammad Ali, Clint Halterman, Cale Davidson, and then this 3-car battle here, Ben Fiore, Ryan Whitlock, and Walker Green. Only cars on the lead lap, which means Walker Green has kind of sealed Rookie of the Race here, and Clint Halterman has kind of sealed the alumni win for tonight. Yeah,
I mean, that is very, very early to call, Sky, but I mean, if Jordan Johnson hasn't wrecked out yet, I think he has, I think he's destroyed the commentator's cursor. No! Almost hit the back of Ben Fiore. Ryan Whitlock sending it in on turn 1, and it looks like Ben Fiore, he looks like he spun the tires. Yeah, he spun those tires. They are dying. So Ryan Whitlock, he's going to try and take an advantage here and maybe get him on this next turn.
Yeah, we got 5 to go, and Whitlock is there. I said he's got the better tires because he didn't have to try and make a move on Walker Green, and he's showing it right now. Ryan Whitlock wants that 5th position, and he is right on the bumper of Ben Fiore of Marist College, trying to make it happen. They're going to go down into the chicane. Can Whitlock get a good run out? He will not. Fiore gets a much better run out there, but Whitlock is on the push to pass, trying to even it up as they head down towards the hairpin, where Fiore will hold the lead. Who's going to get a better run out of here? It is going to, again, be Ben Fiore.
Yeah, and I was just about to say, it's about the hairpin, right? The exit out of this, and a long straightaway, one of the longest straightaways we have on this schedule. And Ben Fiore being able to really maximize his exit speed and able to hold off Ryan Whitlock for another lap, it looks like.
Yeah, that's the main battle right here. Is Walker Green into the wall of champions behind him. That is not going to help his case at all. He is probably going to get stuck there. I don't know how he's going to be able to get around. Whitlock with a send up the inside into that corner.
He's in the marbles.
And back around the outside. He won't get there. Ben Fiore will hold him off for now with 4 laps to go.
And one thing to note right there is that is a very daring move by Ryan Whitlock, and I know he's getting a little bit impatient right there. It is 3 laps left. So Ryan Whitlock, the time is ticking for him to try to get a P5, but you saw there right out of the pit exit lane, there is so much marble. So when I saw Ryan take that outside lane, it's a little bit scary there.
Yeah, Whitlock is still behind. He's going to still try to make the move on him, but you have to imagine he is going to be using these tires up now even more, trying to get to Fiore. So will it even out? Will he get the pass before his tires go? We're going to find out. We're also going to see who's on push the pass out of here, because last time it was both the drivers. This time it is just Ben Fiore on the push to pass, and that's going to allow him to open up quite a gap on Ryan Whitlock and pull away for 5th.
Yeah, and we saw there going into the hairpin, it looked like Ryan Whitlock was thinking about making a pass on him on the inside, thought better of it, and he had to go back into line, which compromised his entry, making him enter a little bit wide, exiting a little bit wide. And like you said, Ben Fiore is the only one with those push to pass. So, I mean, we'll see how long it can last, because right now it is currently 3 laps to go. I'm sorry, 3 laps to go this time around.
Yeah, it is Ryan Whitlock. I mean, he's still there, but he can't get the move done. That's the main battle. Ryan Whitlock out of push to pass, by the way. So he's got no push to pass left. Ben Fiore has 24 seconds of push to pass left. And that is probably going to be the decider here, is that Ben Fiore is able to push that car a lot harder than Ryan Whitlock is, because he's still got 24 seconds extra horsepower. That's going to be big, mostly on these straightaways. If Whitlock gets a good run out of the straightaway, Fiore can just get on that push to pass and go, oh, no, you don't, and completely equalize it for the rest of the run down. So he's got the upper hand here, and it's going to take a big drive from Whitlock to be able to catch up.
And I was going to mention, Ryan Whitlock, he is spitting those tires. He is pushing hard, and Ben Fiore a little bit going wide out of the hairpin. It looks like Ryan Whitlock got a better exit there, but still 8/10 between them. I don't think nothing's going to come out here going into this next turn.
Yet they're still heading down, and I mean, you see how far Fiore has pulled that gap out. And if you look a little bit behind these cars, lurking in the distance, is Jordan Johnson. Look at him. He's going to come around the chicane. There he is, Jordan Johnson playing the Jaws music in the background. He'll take it to 2 to go for him, 3 to go for these cars, barring them getting lapped. So it's got Whitlock has 3 laps, and now he's thinking, not only do I have to get Ben Fiore, but I have to get ahead of Jordan Johnson just so I can even make this battle happen at all.
Yeah, right there, it looked like Jordan Johnson was actually a second faster than Ben Fiore and Ryan Whitlock. So with 2 laps to go, 2 laps to go, it looks like Jordan Johnson is about to lap Walker Green here, potentially now only a second behind. So like you said, Sky, cue the Jaws music, because Jordan Johnson, you know, is right there, and it's going to be a battle to the finish, not just for a position, but to stay on the lead lap. Oh, how ridiculous is this? But right there on board. Go ahead.
No, sorry, my internet cutting out. We got Walker Green in 7th. He's probably, I'd imagine, going to go a lap down before the end of this. He's got Jordan Johnson right up on his tail, and yeah, he's right there, Jordan Johnson on Walker Green. That is going to leave us with 6 cars on the lead lap for the end of this race.
And looks like Walker Green is... I mean, we saw him put the fence on the other, but yeah, he's going to have to let him by. Blue flag's out, and it looks like it's going to be one more lap. No, is it white flag out yet? It's lap 44.
Is white flag out?
Yes,
white
final
flag
lap. So white flag out for the leader, Jordan Johnson for Kent State University, who looks like it is a Sunday drive really out here in the Canadian Grand Prix. But in front of them is what we want to focus on right there. It is Ben Fiore and Ryan Whitlock. While they are only 3 seconds ahead of the leader, they have one more chance. Well, I should say Ryan Whitlock is going to have one more chance when they take the white flag for themselves. But behind Jordan Johnson, it's going to be over for Walker Green and Ben Burton, as it looks like it's going to be, I would say, a clinic that Jordan Johnson put on for tonight.
Johnson's going to take the line, then we're still going to have another lap of racing, because you can see him in the background of this battle making his final run to the checkered, while Ben Fiore and Ryan Whitlock are still making their final run to the white flag. as somebody has gone off. That is Brent Burton, or that is Walker Green, who has gone off in the background, I believe. A lot of smoke out of there. Ben Fiore will continue to lead Ryan Whitlock around, and you see Jordan Johnson right behind him. He is coming to finish this race out strong. He's got one more corner left to go. He will get there, and Jordan Johnson off the wall at Champions is going to be the champion tonight. He'll win the third race of FC at Montreal.
And behind him, it's going to be a 24 seconds for Leaf to catch up, as Leaf rounding about the last two turns, as he's going to head into the around, I should say, the champions of the wall. And it looks like it's going to be a Ball State P2 for Leaf in the fourth round of the CLFC. And behind him, Clint Halterman, right there, near, well, I should say not even there, another 25 seconds behind is Clint Halterman, as he's now rounding about from the hairpin, going down the front stretch. Looks like he is also going to be rounding about as our alumni winner of the night, and it's going to be a P3 for him, for UNC Charlotte.
Yeah, so he'll come through. He will take P3 in this race. It's going to be another 14 seconds behind him, and we're going to get a second Ball State car making it to the line. It'll be Cale Davidson. He will take fourth tonight. We'll see him come down here through the final chicane. Cale Davidson will come out. He will take P4. 1 minute behind Jordan Johnson. And now it was a battle. It's not really anymore. Ben Fiore has done a great job of pulling away from Ryan Whitlock, and he will bring it around to the line to get another really good result for himself. He'll grab fifth this race, while Ryan Whitlock will come around behind and will claim sixth to close out tonight's event.
Yeah, so it looks like only 6 drivers, if I'm right. Yeah, 6 drivers that finished on the lead lap. Oh Lord, what a clinic Jordan Johnson put on for Kent State University. Sign him up as a Red Bull athlete, because this man was on a mission. I'm not sure if you saw the race in Watkins Glen for last weekend at the Xfinity Series. He looked like a little bit of shades of Connor Zelish.
He was cooking all race. I mean, kind of expected from him now, given his complete domination in the Sports Car Championship and how he's ran in Formula C in previous races and previous seasons. He is always a threat to win. And you see that here as we've got 2 cars killing each other in the background as Jordan Johnson does his donuts. That's Clint Halterman maybe taking his anger out on somebody back there.
Oh, that is Clint Halterman. I think he was pushing Andrew Burrow to the finish line. I don't know what was happening there, as I'm trying to look back here on the DVR, and it looks like it looks like they were just having a little bit of fun, goof off, and they had a synchronized hit in the inside wall there. But as you see, apart from them, let's focus right there is Jordan Johnson, our CIL Formula C Montreal winner, round 4 of our season, and it's going to be I believe our 3rd different winner of the night, of the season.
I believe so. He's going to hit the SVG drift around the racetrack here. That's how he's going to do it for this race.
What an homage to SVG, and definitely going to be interesting to really see how those points shake up as as he does another drift through the corners. So once Jordan Johnson does his victory lap, we're gonna see him in victory lane and have a little driver's interview once he comes around. But it looks like he's he's trying to keep it going. And I'm not sure if you noticed too, Sky, on the front stretch, it looks like we have a 3-way burnout there for Clint Halterman, Davidson, and Ryan Whitlock.
Yeah, we love celebrating 3rd place.
It looks like it's 4 cars. Look at that.
Jordan Johnson is kind of the SVG of CIL if SVG was from Ohio, if you know what I mean.
Oh man, but look at those cars at the front stretch. It's a whole demo derby up there as they're all celebrating, as they're finally, they said.
Ryan Whitlock,
Ryan Whitlock on top.
See Montreal 6th place.
Yeah. And they all burned it out, as right now they're gonna go to the cool down room, and we're gonna wait for them to come back to the booth. But Sky, talk to us through our top 10.
Yeah, do we want to get our maybe our results up for this race? We can try and get that up for you here, and you can see where everybody finished. Jordan Johnson wins for Kent State University, gets his first win of the season with Muhammad Alif always battling him. He will finish in P2. Clint Halterman of UNC Charlotte will take 3rd with Cale Davidson, also of Ball State, in 4th. Ben Fiore of Marist will be 5th. with Ryan Whitlock of Alabama Huntsville in 7th. Walker Green of Auburn University, a great run from the rookie, will put him in P7, while Brent Burton of Indiana will take 8th. Andrew Williams of Clemson will take 9th, and his alumni teammate Andrew Burrell, also of Clemson, will take 10th.
And unfortunately, the folks that are outside of the top 10 is Aiken Lamar of Howard Community College, finishing in P11, followed by Dylan Beatty for Ball State University. We mentioned him, the CIL rookie. He is up front in P12, followed by Alex Fernetti for UNC Charlotte in P13. Alexander Diamond for Drexel University, finishing in P14. Tyler Klingensmith for Robert Morris University in P15. And an unfortunate day for Cohen Evans, finishing out in P16 for Purdue University in Indianapolis, followed by the GOAT Hong, Alan Hong, in P17 for St. Clair College. John LaFawn, who we saw had a little bit of contact there at the end for Pennsylvania College of Technology, is going to scrape by with the P18, followed by Marlo Duncan of Milwaukee School of Engineering in P19. And to round about our top 20, who we saw, unfortunately, I should say, had the worst night of his racing career for his CILFC, is Ricky Paz in P20 for East Carolina University.
Yeah, not what he wanted there at all. We'll look further back. These are some of the cars that had early exits: is Jonathan Eggy of Robert Morris in 21st, Nick Stockner of Clemson in 22nd, and Lee Kane of Southern Mississippi in 23rd. Nick Henley of Ball State University in 24th, with Adrian Tubakovic in his home race is going to finish 25th. Lucas Moody of Ball State, we saw out early, will take 26th, with Charles Whibley of Guildford College in 27th. And Noah Mathert of Pittsburgh in 28th. Nicholas Patnella, also of Robert Morris, in 29th. And Jake Cummings of Converse, 30th.
Yeah, an unfortunate night for Jake Cummings, taking out there at the beginning of the lap one, just like all the other drivers here. And also another victims of the lap one incident, Jason Wallet for Drexel University in P31, his worst finishing position, and Thornton Thomas in P32 for Rose Human Institute of Technology, rounding about our last two of the race. Well, Sky, looks like the drivers are in or about to be here in the race in the booth, and so who do we want to call up first?
Yeah, let's call up Jordan Johnson. He's our race winner.
Let's go with the P1.
Get him up in here.
He is
Jordan,
here.
what's up?
Hi.
Hi. Congrats on the win tonight.
Yeah, thank you. It was a tricky one. The car was kind of moving around a lot, but I guess that's these cars. Just glad to finally finish a race, to be honest.
Yeah, we saw about halfway through the race, we pulled up your push to pass graphic, and it said you had not used any push to pass, despite having about I'd say a 14-second lead over a Leaf at the time. Tell us how you were able to get that raw speed and pull away.
Yeah, well, Indy cars, I just feel really at home with them. They're really light, a lot of aero. I drive pretty much aero cars nonstop with my team, so I'm very, very at home with these cars. I think Laguna also is a place I could really show that, being able to hang in the dirty air so well for as long as I did. Yeah, so just really being able to nurse the car through the laps. I didn't feel like I needed to burn any push to pass. I never felt like I was in danger, so I just kind of saved it for fuel reasons, because it does burn a little bit of fuel. So no reason for me to burn it if I didn't need to. And at the end of the day, once we came out for the final stint, I just kind of dumped as much as I could into my fast laps, had fun with it, and sent it home from there.
Well, that was a great drive, and I mean, honestly, I was gonna say that was a clinic you put on. Only 6 cars finished on the lead lap because of your doing, Jordan Johnson. Just so you know that. But as tonight's winner, definitely a strong drive. I mean, tell me something. How does it feel just to like put a Leaf 25 seconds, nearly 25 seconds behind you?
I think it's a push and shove. Leaf will do the same thing to me at some point. He's definitely had races, so. Circuit Gilles Villeneuve is one of my stronger tracks, and truthfully, I think we both knew going into it that the chicane kind of decides who wins or loses. So I just was really comfortable with the chicane tonight and worked it through. Leaf was putting on really strong pace. I mean, for the majority of the race until I believe he hit the wall. We were matched within 2 seconds, and then that damage kind of pushed him back from there. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice feeling, especially to win by that margin. Just feeling that comfortable with the car, especially after the first 2 races I've had in the season. I mean, crashing out in the pit lane and then dying lap 1. Doesn't really look good for a championship push, but being able to come in with this and show that I'm at home with the car definitely feels reassuring.
All right, you got anyone you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, of course. Team Apex Racing Academy, main team, Apex Racing team, just for picking me up and the help that they've given me and developed as a driver. Of course, all of our partners and sponsors, VRS, SDK, Computer PC Systems, Stormforce Gaming, and really just everyone else in the background that helps us out, helps me develop as a driver and continue pushing into more events. We were able to come away with the Indy 6 Hour this past weekend, so we've been doing really well as a team and can't wait to do more with them.
All right. Congrats on the win, Jordan Johnson.
Thank you.
We'll get him out of here, and we are going to call up our second place finisher tonight, our Muhammad Alif. Hey, Alif.
Hello.
Really good run out there for second, but you weren't quite able to keep up with Jordan Johnson. Kind of tell us how that came about.
Yeah, I just hit the wall at the Wall of Champions, which wasn't ideal. Then had some wheel damage. I think that kind of took out about half a second a lap, and then after that it was just damage limitation for us. So yeah, race to forget, but we'll take the P2.
Alif, that was a great race up to that point, and honestly, when I saw that hit against the wall, I thought that was iRacing glitching out for me, so my suspicions were confirmed. But just talk to me through, I mean, at that point, what was it all about? Just damage control, or did you think maybe have a shot to catch up to Jordan?
I mean, I was hoping that the pit crew could fix the damage, but it seems like wheel damage can't be fixed. So that was like my only hope. And then after that, I was just like, I had one shot on the fastest lap to kind of win for it. But other than that, it was just bringing the car home in a P2.
How do you feel about push to pass in this series? Because I think this is the first race on a road course where we've had push to pass like properly working. So how do you think it really like adds to these races?
I think it's great. It's very similar to Super Formula's push to pass as well. I don't know if I forgot the actual wording they use, but I mean the best thing is that there isn't a cooldown, which kind of means that you can use it as much as you want whenever you want. So yeah, I mean there's a strategy element in that, I feel, for the drivers, but yeah, I think it's a great addition to the series.
All right, and do you have anyone you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast tonight?
Yep. So my whole Boss A team for giving all the effort. Kale, I think, for finishing P3 in the students leaderboard this week. So yeah, good job. Dylan and Nick, our academy drivers, for doing really well, and Lucas, who I think should have been up there with us, had it been for that very unfortunate netcode incident at the start. But yeah, all those guys, the Oval guys, as well, for all the support, and my family back home for all their support as well.
All right, congrats on the second place finish tonight, our Muhammad Alif.
Thank you.
And we are going to call up into the booth our third place finisher and our alumni winner tonight, Clint Halterman.
Bye.
Hey, Clint.
Hello.
We saw through kind of the first half of that race, you had a really good battle with Cale Davidson, where Cale was kind of on the softer tires, but you still did a good job of holding him off. Kind of walk us through that fight.
Yeah, this track is kind of deceivingly hard to pass. I'm not really 100% sure why. And I knew Kale. I think Caleb burned up his tires a little more than I did the first stint. So I was hoping my goal was just to try and keep him behind me as long as I could there, because the reds were just gonna fall off. And honestly, I just don't think he really. I think he maybe had one run on me going into the chicane, but I think I was kind of slower into the hairpin than a lot of people, but I also was backing it up and trying to get a good run off. And I don't think Kale was quite close enough a lot of times off the corner, and I was just trying to match his push to pass usage there. So, yeah, I was just trying to do everything I could to keep him behind me, but I mean, it's just I think just him being in dirty air and being that close, it really burnt up his tires, so he wasn't really able to mount a true challenge there. So yeah, that was kind of pretty much the whole race for me. I feel like that was I had that second stint, which was holding off Kale, and then kind of the rest of the race was kind of on my own.
Well, I was gonna say, Clint Halterman, congratulations as the alumni winner tonight and getting out that P3. Definitely something interesting that I was gonna ask about, and I think I was during in the middle of the race during those pit cycles, and you got a little bit behind lap traffic. I mean, at some points, were you trying to plan out, trying to get that clean air going into the pits?
Yeah, that's when I was debating on what my strategy was gonna be. I know I pitted like lap 15. You can go about 17, 18, 19 laps on gas. And always the worry with me in these cars are pitting early. Where am I gonna come out? It's hard to say. So part of what I like to do a lot of times is go long as possible. Then I don't have to worry about it. I won't have to worry about coming out in like traffic. But I kind of got to a point. I think Ryan and Drew pitted before me, and they were kind of telling me where they were at, and I was like, okay, I can probably pit now and be fine. And then, fortunately, it is a pretty short pit lane, and kind of where I was at, I had a bit of a gap, to some of the other people. Especially that second stop, I went as far as I could on gas, and I didn't really have to deal with too much lap traffic. So yeah, I was definitely thinking about that. I did not want to get, like I said, it's hard to pass here, so I really didn't want to get caught behind lap traffic. I think I caught someone right before I made my second stop or something like that, and that cost me like 7/8 or something like that. So yeah, just definitely was trying to be smart about when to pit. It's hard to guess. I wish I knew the pit lane delta to how long it took to pit to know exactly where I come out. But yeah, it was just kind of a guessing game, and fortunately, it worked out tonight.
All right. Do you have anyone you want to thank or shout out on the broadcast tonight?
Yeah, I'll just shout out the Montreal Racing guys. Got a couple. I think we had like 3 people. I know Drew started last, got to top 10, and then Burrow and Finnerty both had issues, were last, and still brought home top 15. So good results for them. And then yeah, shout out to y'all for putting on the broadcast tonight.
Oh,
Sorry if it was a boring one tonight, but
Hey, we had a pretty
yeah,
good
no,
time
it
up
wasn't.
here.
It wasn't boring. Yeah.
All right. Congrats on the 3rd place and the alumni win, Clint Halterman.
all right, thank you guys.
And with that, that'll take us to the end of our coverage here tonight. We're gonna get a look at our kind of upcoming races here in the CIL. Next up, we've got the Collegiate Sports Car Challenge. That's tomorrow. First, looking at our FC schedule, we've got Indy RC, Indy Road Course next week. And then after that, we're heading to a second race at Indy, this time on the oval. We've got our own little Indy 250 going on, so that should be a pretty fun one there. 2 good races coming up over the next 2 weeks, and they are sure to be exciting, both same time on Wednesday for the rest of the season. And then looking at our Collegiate Sports Car Championship schedule, next week we're going to Imola. Tomorrow we are going to Imola. That is tomorrow, September 19th, for a 2-hour endurance style race. We're going to be running the sports cars around Imola. It'll be a ton of fun. And then the Cup Series, same time as us. Next Monday, we're going to Texas. That is September 23rd, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. They will be racing from Texas Motor Speedway. Kansas last race was one of the best races of the season, and I don't think Texas is going to be much different. You got any closing thoughts, Edward?
Just what you just said. Yeah, Texas is gonna be great. I mean, hey, just to give us a shout out, as CILFC commentator here, finished P2. So Sky representing us. We did well last Monday, but focusing on the race is definitely.
We did well.
It's a group effort. Come on, us as CILFC commentators, we gotta stick together.
Hey, we take those P31s.
Exactly, top 30 all the way.
31.
Top 31. But tonight's race definitely was a battle of attrition, with Jordan Johnson just pummeling through the field and lapping every car. and only leaving 6 or 5 other survivors to be on the lead lap. But it was definitely interesting to see tonight. You know, we got to see a lot of race pace, and we got to see who was great at defending. And one man sticks out to me is that number 48 Walker Green. I mean, I would cast him right now as my CIL rookie favorite of the season.
Had a great race there, pretty much the entire way throughout the end of that race. Thank you for watching the Collegiate iRacing League tonight. I think we had a really fun one, and we very much appreciate you tuning in for some Formula College action. We'll be back at the same time next week at the Indy Road Course. Same time, 8:45 Eastern, 7:45 Central. We will be back at it next Wednesday. For me, Sky Shrek from the University of Oklahoma, and Edward Sanchez from Baruch College. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.